just a little bit about metabolic flexibility and what that term really kind of means. So we hear oftentimes, I don't know if you're like me, but over the last, I don't know, maybe 20 years at least, I have heard very, very frequently about like increasing your metabolism, or, oh, I have a slow metabolism, I just don't have a fast metabolism, or I really want to speed up my metabolism, or, oh, my metabolism is just really fast. The reality is metabolism isn't a slow or fast thing that happens in your body. Metabolism is more of a flexibility. What you're looking for is the flexibility. And what I mean by that is not that you want it to be slower or faster. Your body's kind of working at a similar speed. It's whether it is burning fat or burning protein, ketones, those things. So you want to be able to go in and out of ketosis easily. You want your body to go from sugar burning mode to fat burning mode, and to be able to use different fuel sources well, and to be able to adapt to that, so that when there's no fuel and you're fasting, that then it goes into ketosis, it's going into really that autophagy stage then eventually, where your body is, the cells are cleaning themselves up, would be the easiest way for me to describe that to you. It is where, like I said, your body can go in and out of those stages quickly. So it's not a struggle if you're fasting, you're not stuck in sugar burning mode where you feel terrible and your body's having a hard time switching over. That's what happens when you get hangry a lot of times, is your body's having a hard time switching its fuel source. And it tends to be an early sign of insulin resistance. Now, I am not a doctor, so I am not offering medical advice. I'm sharing with you guys some of the things that I have learned, in particular this last year, about metabolic flexibility, that's been really transformative for me, because I didn't realize that I was starting to get a little bit of insulin resistance. I was hangry. I've had a hanger problem the majority of my life. I didn't know. Ask anybody who knows me well. They'll tell you, yes, Amanda, give her food. My husband learned quickly when we were first married that if I started getting a little cranky, just feed me, and I'd be fine. But that has really, this last year, as we have focused on really limiting seed oils and resetting our metabolism to burn correct stores of fat, because the way seed oils work, they hide in it, hijacks your metabolism, and they're very nefarious. Now, when I say seed oils, I'm talking about industrial processed seed oils. So I'm not talking about you grow your own sunflowers with big oily sunflower seeds and you're hand pressing the oil for your sunflowers fresh to use within the next 3 to 5 days. Completely different, although I would argue you still probably shouldn't heat it, and you don't want to be consuming it high levels and a lot, because it is higher in omega-6s, and the omega-6s are unstable when exposed to heat, which is why you don't really want to be heating seed oils, which are industrial processed seed oils, are heated over and over and used in fryers and all sorts of things. So if you are curious about learning more about these and you want to read some in-depth information from doctors, I have 2 books that have been very helpful for me this year. And since on this channel we focus a lot on things through a biblical worldview, I will give you a little bit of a heads up on the one. So the first book that I recommend is called Dark Calories. It's by Dr. Shanahan, and it's one of my top favorite books on health that I have read, hands down, I think maybe ever. She's taken a lot of the information that I have learned slowly over the last 20 years of my health journey, and that people ask me about, and they're constantly asking for resources, and I'm like, I don't remember where I read it, but I've read it multiple times and in a lot of different scientific research studies and in all different areas. But at the time I was just learning for myself, and I wasn't trying to keep a record of resources in order to refer other people to them. And when I got my hands on the Dark Calories book, I was super excited, because I was like, here's all the information, and she does a really good job citing it, and it's all in one place. So I highly recommend that book. There's really only one. Neither of these books are written from a biblical worldview. They're just written by doctors. And so I feel like she doesn't really go into any woo-woo stuff. She makes an evolution argument at one point, so that's about it. But by argument, I mean she uses it like in a statement. She's not even spending time on it. So I highly recommend that book. The other book that I would recommend, but give some caveats with, is Fast Like a Girl, and that's by Dr. Mindy. I knew I should have written her name down. Her last name starts with a P. If you look up Fast Like a Girl, it is one of the top books. Now, the entire intro almost made me the foreword almost made me just turn off the book when I was listening on audio. I'm glad I stuck with it because there was some really good information in there. Again, she's coming from a different perspective. She's not coming from a biblical worldview. And so we're going to disagree on why some of the things work the way that they do. I would argue that they work this way because God created them to work this way, and that we were created to have rhythms of fasting and feasting, and he put that in the calendar for his Hebrew people and all the things. So we have just a little bit of a disagreement on the why, but it's really fantastic, especially if you've struggled with all of the information on should I fast, should I not fast as a woman, all of the research being on men, and then it spikes cortisol, and then it's terrible for your hormones, and I don't understand. She really breaks it down in a way where it's cyclical with your cycle and phases, so you're almost syncing your fasting to your cycle, and so that you're not spiking the cortisol, so that you're watching your fasting windows, the foods you're fueling your body with during those times. I really appreciate her approach on that. And she talks a lot about metabolic flexibility as well. Dark Calories touches on it kind of from the seed oil standpoint. And then you're going to get more of the how to help besides just limiting seed oils in the Fast Like a Girl. So those are 2 recommendations for you. I had promised that if you guys wanted more info on it, I would touch on it for you. And since you requested it, here's the video. If you guys have any more questions, or if there's something you want me to dive into depth a little bit more on, please let me know down in the comments. I do listen and I love your feedback, and I try to offer you content that blesses you, not just whatever comes up in my brain. So until next time, take care, friends. Cheers.